Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Goglo here. This is part 3 of my Road to Celestial. This is the night where I went in a 15-game win streak, going from GM3 to Celestial 3 in one night. And I'm taking you along the road so I could give you the tips and tricks and what got me to Celestial with a 66% win rate, but an 80% win rate in Grandmaster lobbies. All solo queue in the first half of Season 7. Now pay attention to these two players who are in a stack, and they are actually going to make another guest appearance in another game in the same night. Do I play against them or with them? You have to watch the next video to find out. I'm going to play against them. But still watch the video, please. Thank you, like and subscribe. So here I decided to go Mr. Fantastic, because we had a bit of a weak frontline, since we don't really have a typical frontline character here. I think Thor and Penny are great tanks, but they're definitely not frontline tanks. That's why I cautioned to go Mr. Fantastic. And also he does kind of well for a little more survivability. And he kind of sometimes fills in the gap as a frontline kind of character because of his survivability. Now, I was in comms here, so I was asking the team if we're really going to push with Penny. And they decided to go for it, and they're like, yep, I'm going to push with Penny. The reason why I don't like pushing with Penny, and I'm Penny main, she's actually the first tank that got me to Grandmaster. In my first season of playing, I got to Grandmaster with mainly playing Penny with a 70% win rate. So I do think she's a great character. She has a lot of utility, but during the push, if you're not flanking with her or diving with her, there's really not much utility. In the front line, she's kind of just a beacon of damage, and people could just shoot at her all day long. Another pro tip here, always make sure you destroy the shares and the lamps on the left. He actually gives a damage boost to Mr. Fantastic. If you couldn't tell, I was joking about that. That it does not do that. Just to be clear, I wouldn't want you to start destroying every stage just because you think it's going to give you a damage boost. I'm going to stop with this joke. Well, anyways, so I remember in this first engage kind of how it goes down. But that is the main reason why I don't really like playing Penny in push. She doesn't have any really good frontline benefits, and so she has to flank or dive. Now here, I'm letting kind of Emma pass through, but Emma's kind of playing kind of coy, and I do remember instant death. And at this point, in your first death, you have to ask yourself, was it your fault? Was it your team's fault? If you notice, both tanks were behind me. They were not pushing in. I kind of got out of the line of sight of my healers there, but I still was playing behind cover, behind the bushes. So it did feel like at that point I'm thinking, wait, are my healers healing? What are they up to? Now look, I'm in the line of sight of the healers, and obviously they couldn't. I'll stop that damage. So now I'm starting to think, okay, these healers are having a hard time. So I'm gonna play a little bit differently, and this is when you want to start collecting data. Sometimes you gotta adapt to the way they're playing, their play style. So far it kind of feels like, the main problem is one of the healers are not healing. Spoiler alert, I'll tell you which one. It's Invis. Invis was having a hard time in this game. Club was doing great, actually. See, now I die. Every death collect data. Am I dying out of position? Was I out of position? No, that was just a messy fight on that one. The other two that I died, I definitely was not out of position. And when I tried peeling back for heals, they were basically died. See, Invis died again. I have no idea why Rocket left his beacon there, or his revive. That was an interesting decision. Now, if you notice, Penny switched to Thor, so I think me just asking was good enough for him to kind of caution to switch it up and go Thor. Now, one of the ways I like to use the Scarlet Witch team up that I really like is destroying the Rocket ult. It's a great tool to destroy those. You will melt it really quickly. You can almost destroy it by yourself. Now, there was no space there, and Dark Strange died, so I had to peel back. Another pro tip here: don't feed. If the fight is going south and you already lost too many people, there's no point in you trying to stay there and just die on point, especially if you're pushing, because you're not going to capture point. All you're going to do is feed. So if you notice, I'm waiting for my tanks to come back in. And that's how you don't stagger. So right now, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I collected the data where I know my healers are having a hard time, so I'm going to play a little more safer. Not, push past my tanks. And then here, we're going to play the game. Fat ult or not fat ult? And, okay. I got one. So you can call that a well-fed ult. Invis died again. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to realize that obviously the healers, there's something up with them. Like, for whatever reason, they're not healing. And there could be a lot of, there could be good explanations for that, or it could be like they're just messing up. But which means you do have to play different. Now I remember this part right here. So I'm gonna go off to the right because I notice a Punisher's I'm trying to stop the flank. And I look right behind me. One good thing to do is the moment you die, look behind you just to get an idea of where your healers were. At that point, Invis was barely coming back, so she couldn't really have healed me from where she was at. Claude tried to heal me at the very last second. She did a damage sheet. She should have done the healing sheet. But they must have not been aware enough to see that I was fighting on the flank side. In higher level of playing, as healer or DPS or tank, you want to be mindful of where all the fights are going and where they're taking place. Now, this leads me to the next very important pro tip here. So, as Scarlet Witch, one of the things you want to, not Scarlet Witch, but as a DPS player, you have three main responsibilities. Number one responsibility, get kills. You ideally want to get kills. Ideally, you want to go after priority targets like healers, and you want to stop healers. Second is stop their DPS from flanking. Don't let them be hanging out in the flank. So notice I pressure Punisher there. It led to his death. Here I notice my healer side. I tried to move back. Too bad. The fight was done. But so the second responsibility as a DPS is stopping the flank on the DPS players. If you're in higher level lobbies, they're not just gonna stand right in front of their tanks and just try to do damage. They're actually gonna try to take more advantageous positions so they get better angles on the healers. That's your job as a DPS to watch out for and try to take care of it. So by pressuring them or actually getting the kill. And the third responsibility is perfect timing, protecting your healers. Okay? If your healers are good enough, they might be able to protect themselves and you might not need to peel back for them as much. But if you notice here, since I noticed my healers were not doing a good job healing, I started to notice like, wait, who's messing with them? Why? Are they just playing bad or what? And I noticed there was a Deadpool. So that's when I started targeting Deadpool. And you notice Doctor Strange went after them too. I used my cooldowns to actually stop him from killing them on his ult. Another great tip for Scarlet Witch players, use the ball to actually stop ults. Again, Elsa is flanking and I stop her from flanking. See, she had to back up. She had to back up there. If I wasn't there, it's very possible she could have gotten a pick. So here I'm always looking for different angles, seeing where the fight is taking place. I'm also looking for an ult. When you ult with her, you obviously have to do it from an advantageous position, one where they're not going to see it coming. With that being said, even then, that's pretty tricky. So, okay, time to guess the game. Fat ult or not? Okay, I got it. Okay, that was well fed. With her getting one kill could be the difference between you getting killed or between you getting point. So at this point, I'm going out to the healer. This is hilarious because of this stage. We actually were able to tell where Invis was at because of the drone. Now, if you notice, a lot smoother. Now that I'm dressing the two issues that I noticed, my healers were not really healing, so I tried to pressure the person messing with them, allowing them to heal a little easier, and then waiting for openings to actually pressure the healers. And then that's actually, giving a much smoother push. And so every death, if you're not learning, you thought I was gonna fall, didn't you? I know I was gonna fall. It was all calculated. That's a lie. I got scared. I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna fall. One thing to keep in mind. See, Invis died there again. See, she died there again, and I believe she was playing a little bit out of position, or a whole lot. By then, you're gonna notice she has the most deaths in the lobby, or at least in our team. And as a healer, that's not a good sign. But I think the stack was doing good. And like that, we've got the 3 points. So to like repeat what I was saying as far as the 3 responsibilities of a DPS player, I think this is very crucial. I think a lot of people feel like the only responsibility is to get kills. No, it's not. You could pressure and you can even make space as a DPS by doing damage. So if you see other DPS players and opponents trying to flank, stop them from flanking. Okay, but priority number 1, get kills. Priority number 2, you stop the flanks and nullify their plays with damage, obviously. And then our responsibility number 3 is protect your healers. And sometimes that takes precedence over all of them if they have a good dive that's actually causing, you know, them to basically not be able to play. All right, now moving on to round 2. A couple of penny points here. You see where I'm walking, where the bushes are at, right in front of me? That's where I like to put her nest, actually. Right there where I'm standing, actually, near that area. It has great utility because it does take up the space that they need to go through to really get to point. Another one will be right next to the glass windows here, which you cannot break in this stage. So you actually could use that to cover that up. The place I don't like putting the penny mines is right there. That's too out in the open. They can shoot it from all angles. They can go through that door on the right. They could even go above if they have high mobility characters that could go up there. Now I was trying to get them to follow me in this direction so that they walk right through the nuke that Penny set up. They didn't fall for it. Also, I didn't really put enough pressure to make them want to chase me. But you notice Thorius came around here, and now the Penny mine's gone. Penny got her pull out of position by Bucky, and she instantly died. So it's too out in the open for Penny to play in that position. She needs a little more cover in a lot of those scenarios. And so now she instant died, which is funny. Then they go back to Thor. So remember, you don't have to play that far up as Penny. Like, you want to just take care of spaces that are advantageous, that they have to go through. So they have to deal with your nest. Now, at this point, I'm playing more or less safe. They're the ones that have to do the play to get points. So now I'm just looking for an opening. But getting rid of the squids is priority number 1 as a DPS player. Do not let the squids just hang out there doing damage. I see a lot of people just ignore squids. I know this is a shooter, so you think to yourself, I want to shoot players. I don't want to shoot at objects. But it's so crucial to the gameplay. Here I see they're all low health and we're starting to move in, now we're starting to play. This is a great utility. If you notice there, Bucky tried to ult me. He got the thing. But with Scarlet Witch, you should hardly get caught by ult. Because you have 2 disappearing eggs. And those are, you're basically invincible. And so always, if you're good with Scarlet Witch, you're going to rage bait them into wanting them to ult you. And that's going to be a lot of waste of resources for them. Now here they're having a hard time push, and I don't have to go to their spawn door. A lot of people make a mistake here. We won the team fight, and then they kind of just hang out in front of their spawn door to like put more pressure for them not to get out. But that actually just feeds their ults, and if they're at all any good, then they're actually gonna not die, and then you're probably gonna end up dying playing so far forward. Here, if there's a healing ult and you're a DPS player, there's no point in playing it. You will die. You are not doing anything for your team by just playing in the opponent's healing. I went as far back as I could have in that scenario, but with my healers behind me. Okay, fat ult or not fat ult? Yes, I got one. That's a well-fed ult. We're gonna go with that. I'm surprised here the thing did not combo with me, but pro tip here, if you're a Scarlet Witch player, obviously the ults you want to be looking for that are great combos with her, it's gonna be like Groot, the Thing, Emma, Angela. I would say even Emma and Thing's ult is better for Scarlet Witch because they actually stop them from moving. With Groot, they could still freeze you if you're Luna. They could still grab you if you're Bucky. And then the same thing for Angela. They still have those like CC abilities. Here I walk back because they keep pinging to walk back. So then so I just backed up. I assumed there was something going on back there. But it doesn't seem like there was. But either way, this is a good advantageous choke point to actually fight. Again, they're not really being able to move in because the moment they move in, I pressure them and stop them on their place. The thing died there. Now, as I see they're weak, I was gonna move in and make a play, but I decided to get rid of the split. Very important. Now, you can tell here, I think this is far. Okay. See, I took cover right away, and my healers were able to keep me up. But if I was in the line of sight of Namor, he could have killed me right then and there. One of the things in higher level playing, I wouldn't phrase it, always go after healers. Here, if you notice, I was going after a Punisher, but then I saw a healer, and I right away prioritized trying to get the healer. So that healer was getting antsy, and obviously they're panicking, they just want to get points, so now the healers are moving out of position, and the DPS are not getting heals, so they can't move in, and then they break apart. And just like that, we won that game. Now, there will be a part 2. Well, I have 15 parts coming out, because we're going to cover all the games, and I'm going to kind of give you the tips and tricks along the way. But there will be a video coming up where I play with the same stack, and I'm going to play against them. And look forward to that. Like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Wait, don't leave. I actually put up the stats so you get an idea of how he unfolded. And you notice Loki died a whole lot. He died 6 times. The other healer only died 1 time and did very little healing. No shade to them. Just something you want to keep in mind when you read the stats. You actually have to have context as to how it went down. All right, like and subscribe. Bye. For reals now.